Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the Athearn MT-4 and Southern Pacific scheme. Now this MSRP's for a surprisingly low $419.98 for a DC, DCC, and sound-equipped model, courtesy of Soundtrack Tsunami Sound. Now this MSRP of under $420 is one of the lowest I've seen on steam locomotives of present day in HO scale, so pretty good deal up front, especially considering there's discounts out there to be had. So let's take a look at what you get for this, what I consider value price steam locomotive, starting right now. This massive box is taking up a kind of a large portion of my shot here, but I wanted to loosen the lid. I have not yet pulled it out of the box. There's the end, shows you the item number if you're curious, shows the actual locomotive there, and then we're going to actually get involved here and see what's in the box. Athearn news flyer, Genesis manuals, which are always very nice and large for the steam locomotives. Got 14 pages here. Shows the locomotive drawing by Ernie Towler and a bunch of other stuff, including exploded parts diagrams, functions, CVs, etc. 1 year limited warranty through Horizon Hobby, and warranty card to send in, document your warranty and the part that you retain with the item number, description, and date of purchase. And then inside here we've got the actual steam locomotive. Finally, after all my chatter, get some numbers. So the number boards are blank, so you can apply different numbers, including train numbers and then actual locomotive numbers there. And we'll get this out of the box and see. Unbox loco and tender for you. Now, I tried to go faster on some of these reviews, and I'll continue to do so on occasion, but I have a large contingent of people that insist that I take my time and go through everything. So, still doing the unboxing, still showing you the unboxing here. Looks like no broken parts. And I'm going to unbox the tender here. Very, very nice scheme. So there's the tender unboxed. Well, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the loco first and then the tender. You have a strikingly beautiful steam locomotive, in my opinion. Blank number boards here. We talked about having train numbers you can apply, as well as cab numbers. 4350 is in the decal set that you could apply. But let's go ahead and start from the nose here. Pilot, look at some detail. You have McHenry couplers. Those are plastic couplers with a spring. The magnetic glad hand or wand there for people that have magnetic switches installed on their layouts for automatic uncoupling in areas. Pilot here with some accessory hoses, coupler cut lever. You've got etched metal walkway. We have a little bit of play in the actual walkway there when I accidentally touched that. Headlight, which on Athearn Steam I believe is LED, but we'll double check. Bell, smoke box door with the latches that would open the smoke box door. Air horn here. You have a grab iron around the smoke box door there, and 4350 both on the sides and below the headlight with the headlight hood there, or headlight housing. Got all the side rod detail, driver detail. On the drivers in the center of the wheels, you see a little star. That's actually correct for the prototype. bunch of piping along the side, the walkway with the handrails. You have lift rings up top, dynamo and whistle are kind of subset into the body there, along with separately applied grabs there towards the back. You have a cab, cab window sunshade, number 4350, and the MT-4 specifications are legible. They're a little not crisp. I wouldn't call them crisp, but they are legible. It looks like there's just a little bit of murkiness with them, if that's a word. You have the trailing trucks here. You have the connections, C connection, which goes into the pin, and you have the multi-pin male portion of the adapter back here. Deck plate, backhead boiler detail, even have gauges, pressure gauges with indications on them. And more of the same detail on this side, just a little different with some variations compared to the other side, but I figured I would let you see what's going on this side as well. So that's back to the front for the locomotive. Let's take a look at the tender real quick. Alright, I think my turntable for display of the models is a little further back than usual, but I've got a train and a whole bunch of stuff out, so I'm going to hand hold this as we go around on the tender. You've got rear access ladders, rear light, again I believe is LED, but we'll test that out and check it out. Coupler cut lever on the back along with another McHenry coupler back here. You have water hatches, or hatches of some sort, and then you've got handrails up top. Handrails are plastic and they move, but they give, so they're not getting stuck bent in one way or another. Got a hatch here, dipstick here, separately applied grabs, and then that nice Southern Pacific and those beautiful colors, the SP colors, there. Front is adorned with some detail too, including separately applied grabs and walkways with safety tread. Then you've got your female portion of the harness that connects to the locomotive, and then your drawbar just goes into this housing here. So pretty nice tender as well. One thing before we get this bad boy moving is I wanted you to see how closely it couples and how evenly the deck plate lines up with the tender. I've noticed on some different steam locomotives, it's become a little bit of a pet peeve of mine that the deck plate ends up jammed below or angled extremely up, as the tender and the locomotive don't have the correct height, as the company may have not taken the time to make sure little details like that matter. And with Athearn, it looks like they nailed that and actually made sure that's correct. So very prototypical looking, very nice looking, not that toy train appearance with this close couple of both locomotive and tender. Alright, we're going to go over some sounds. As you see, the locomotive here is on the track. F0 turns on the headlight, starts the dynamo. 1 is bell. 2 is horn, or whistle in this case, obviously, with the steam. So that's actually F2 and F3. F3 is the short whistle. I'll do the short whistle again so you can hear it on F3. It's just real quick. F4 is steam release. F5 and F6 they handle effect lights that aren't present. F7 is the dimmer, making the headlight dim or bright, as you can see there. Very, very nice brightness to the headlight. Definitely LED. Slight amount of bleed through from the housing to the smoke box door, but nothing to be concerned about. Make sure it's not loose. No, it's firmly in there. So F8's mute. Turns everything off. F9 squeal release. Do that one again real quick. F9. F10's coupler. F11's injector for steam only. F12's water stop. Turning some of these functions off here. Alright, F12 water stop. You can hit F12 again to stop the water stop and finish loading up with water. So that's all 12 functions listed in the manual. Let's get into motion and see how this operates at slow speeds. It's not very often you get to see my ugly wall, but you see it this time as we're in a different direction. I'm going to move this at 1 speed step now. A little bit of a lurch and delay and chuff. You're definitely not smoothed out at 1 speed step. 2 speed steps. Keep an eye on those drivers. A little better. 3. Four. And 5. So by 3 to 4, you're completely smoothed out. Stop with the quickness here and go into reverse. You hear it engage in reverse as well as a sound feature. 1 speed step. Oops, sorry, I should have went to 2 here. I went backwards. So there's 2 speed steps. Next one I went to 0. 3. Looks like there's still a little lurchiness at 3. 4. It's moving too fast for me to keep up. And 5. So definitely smoothed out by 5 speed steps. I will say that don't necessarily hold it against the manufacturers that there are some lurches. You've got to consider both break-in, the fact that the locomotive hasn't been broken in by me and I don't know what they did in the assembly process, and the fact that there's CV values that can be tweaked to optimize smooth running. So I just want to show you guys what you get out of the box like I have pretty much from day one. Gonna go with a pull test now. Looks like we peaked out at 3.3 ounces, spending most of the time at 3.1, so we'll call it 3.3 ounces. Don't you hate when you forget something? I forgot that I have not been doing this. I just found this KD height gauge again recently. I've not been doing this test like I should, but this is on par with that end of the locomotive, and we'll go ahead and back it up to the front here. And we're dead even on the front as well. So the coupler height is within gauge. Now if I can just remember to do that on all the reviews, that would be great. Alright, the scale is on here. Just need to drop the locomotive on. Locomotive 1 pound 2.4 ounces by itself with tender 1 pound 9.5 ounces. Or for you guys across the pond, 25.5 ounces, 725 grams, 0.725 kilograms, so a little over 1.5 pounds. So very nice weight on the locomotive. I really hate disconnecting these things because you always feel like you're going to break something or pull a wire out, but got it done to weigh this. Really should have just
Well,
waited.
that's going to do it for this review of the Athearn MT-4 in the SP scheme. For the MSRP being very low for steam locomotives at under $420, I was really looking for something wrong on this locomotive, and the most I could find was the fact that I don't like the pins, but a lot of manufacturers have them. It's just hard to disconnect and sometimes hard to connect. That's really my only nitpick. I mentioned that does not have a smoke unit. Looking down the stack here, there's no brackets, which means I can't just install a Soothe number 9 or number 10 like you could with the FEFs, Challengers that were released by Athearn in the past. It's the only negative connotations I can find of the steam locomotive. I've been trying to do a better job of not just doing the review, running it around a loop once, and giving you a decision. So I let this thing go to town on my layout for a while, and there were no derails or problems with the locomotive running. And as much time as I put into my track, it's still not perfect. So it's very, very nicely done. Didn't have any problem navigating through switches, etc. So overall, I would definitely suggest it, especially if you're an SP fan, or even if you're like me and you're a GS4 4449 fan and you ended up with the cars, you have another decent engine to run this with. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.